What's up, everybody? So this video is a little different than the others. Not going to be doing cool hot rod stuff today. This video is actually a repair video. The second gen Tacoma, unfortunately, is known for the chassis just rotting away, returning to the earth, evaporating, turning to dust, piecing out, disintegrating, almost like if Thanos did that magic snap, bouncing, falling apart, basically failing. Toyota dropped the ball, and for some reason or another, all of these chassis ended up rotting out. Do a search online, you'll find different stories. It's a known topic. You'll find a general consensus of what the problem is, but you'll also find other theories. Obviously, water is an issue, debris, salt, and all types of other materials getting caught in the chassis. They promote them rotting away earlier than they should be. I can tell you this though, living on the East Coast and New York specifically, I see a lot of rusted out stuff. Mostly subframes, suspensions, and exhausts. But this Tacoma, it's got its own problems. Let's get into it. On this project, the client supplied the repair kit for the chassis. This is known as a safety cap. These guys engineered a kit to not only fix your messed up chassis, but make it stronger than it was before. Now, just so you're aware, this is far from a bolt-in solution. There's a lot of thought and planning that goes into this. It really is a shame because if you look elsewhere, I mean, this truck is in good condition. Everything under here is so clean, with exception to the chassis. Most of the time you spend on this project will be prep work. You're going to have to get down to bare metal. That means removing paint, grime, grease, undercoating, whatever's stuck under there. You have to get down to bare metal to weld. You got to be sure to take the time to cut out all the bad material. Now, be mindful, if your chassis is worse than this, you have to think about how far you're going to cut. In this case, the top plate of the chassis was still intact, all the corners were still there. There was enough material there that made me comfortable in cutting out these sections. One thing I learned about rust repair, there's no such thing as a surprise because you got to expect it all to be rotted out. What the customer sees is only a tiny bit. What's really going on behind the scenes is always much worse. In this case, after doing a little bit of probing on the passenger side, it was uncovered that it really needed some attention right now. Fortunately, I have the material here. I have my templates, I have my CNC, so I'm gonna do what I always do. Alright, so day 2. Got a little tired last night, like any human being would, and I said enough. So, I gotta get the light, but I got most of the patch done. We still got a gap here. Oh, I gotta get a light, this is ridiculous, hang on. Alright, so day 2. I got a little tired last night, so I called it. But we're back. Most of the welds are done on this thing. I'll be honest with you, the only scary part of this project to me is right here. Right here is where the fuel lines ride above the rail, and I gotta weld right up on them. So to give myself a little peace of mind, aside from having my fire extinguishers right by my feet, I wrap these things in leather just to give me another layer of protection. All right, let's take a second to talk about something that's often overlooked: comfort. This is an awkward position to weld in, and if you look, I am chilling. I'm comfortable. Look at my foot. My leg is all relaxed. My head is propped up. I can see where I'm welding clear as day. I got a good light source up there. I got all my safety gear on. I'm not flinching around because I'm getting burned. Think about getting yourself as comfortable as possible. As far as this neck brace that I'm using, it's nothing more than a cheap Harbor Freight wheel chuck. It just gets the job done. So, food for thought. Once all the welding was done, I hit everything with a couple coats of primer, then a couple coats of paint, blew out all the last bit of debris from the chassis, put all the clips and brackets back where they belong, gave it a once over, and we're going to call it done. One more thing worth noting if you're going to tackle this project. Pay attention to the condition of your exhaust. In this case, this is original, and it's pretty fragile at this point. Most of it's rusted away, so the flanges are paper thin, all the bolts broke, every gasket needed to be replaced, and by some miracle we were able to get it back together so he can get his truck back. But it's something that's going to have to be addressed in the near future. So all in all, the repair wasn't so bad. Not really something I would recommend for the average do-it-yourselfer, especially if you're not well versed in welding, specifically welding chassis. I don't think this should be your first welding project. All in all, it wasn't an easy repair, but it wasn't the most difficult thing I've ever done. I think the video kind of speaks for itself. There's a basic set of tools you'll need to complete a project like this. Maybe some specialty things would make it easier, but for the most part, protective gear, I think that's the top of the list here. You're going to be flinging debris and rust and everything else really close to your face. So that being said, if your skill set is somewhere in the intermediate to excellent range, yeah, I think you can totally tackle this project. Like I did say before though, protective gear is going to be super important. Mapping it out, planning, being aware of the situation is going to be super important, but not an impossible project. So now you have an idea of what's in store for the repair, and you probably have a better idea as to if you want to tackle it yourself or not. If you don't want to tackle it, you now know who your guy's going to be. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you find it helpful. If you learned something, awesome. If you just needed to pass the time, awesome. What I would appreciate if you like, comment, subscribe, turn on some notifications, follow me on my Instagram. And hey, since you're here, why not watch these videos? Huh? Cool. Go ahead. Watch them.